Welcome in. It's a Friday night. I have no juice. I'm really tired tonight, and it's been a long week. And I have to talk about Rick is on tonight with us, and he was very disappointed when he found out that this could not be a shirtless program this evening because we didn't get to 100 subscribers. We actually didn't gain a single one after I said it.
Yeah, well, that's probably why. Good job.
So we're going to turn the tables on you. Now it's a threat. Now, if we don't get to 100 subscribers by next week, the show is shirtless. So take that, YouTube subscribers.
Nobody wants that.
Tell your friends. Just kidding. Nobody, I know nobody wants it. It's clear nobody wants it because we made it as an incentive. It didn't work at all. Eric Hauser, Bears 3-0. Eric Hauser, Bears 3-0. What?
They are 3-0.
I know they are, but they certainly shouldn't be.
They really shouldn't be.
And Hauser, you know that.
I watched the end of that Atlanta game and the Bears, and it was ugly on both ends. Jimmy Graham had at least 3 drops in just the last 8 minutes of the fourth quarter. And he had a push-off touchdown catch, of course. God, is he bad.
He's Jimmy Graham. It's the only way he's going to get a touchdown.
He's bad.
Now, don't get me wrong. I certainly prefer the Bears with Mitchell Trubisky instead of Nick Foles. They're more formidable with Foles. The Packers don't play him for several weeks anyway, but still Foles will probably be injured by then. We don't have to worry about it. They'll be back to Trubisky by that point. So I guess it's okay for us, for the Packers, to get Foles in there now. But yes, the Bears are 3-0. Technically, that's their record. Are they a good team? I'm not sure about that. Rick, any thoughts on the Bears?
Probably the ugliest 3-0 team. But as part of that, with them being 3-0, that means the Falcons are 0-3, and I don't think the Falcons are as bad as 0-3. And if we want to get rolling right away, I can get into this. But I guess my biggest concern coming into this week is overconfidence on the Packers because they're sitting at 3-0, and I don't think they're that great of a 3-0 team. And they're facing the Falcons, who are pretty good 0-3. And it should be a game the Packers should win, but this is exactly the kind of game that's going to cause a stumbling block for them, where they're going to come in overconfident.
You don't talk like that,
Rick. That was in the McCarthy days. That would be a stumbling block. This is our the LaFleur days. These are different kind of days, Eric. Now,
this is another shootout day. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be 40 points on each side.
Of course. I mean, the Packers defense have shown you that you shouldn't expect anything less, and Atlanta's put up points. The one thing that's remarkable about Atlanta is we always have this view of them that even though they have a terrible record, that they're actually a better team than what their record is most of the time. And I don't know how many years in a row that's happened, but it's been the last several years, and quite a few. There's been a couple of successful years in between, and then some bad years before that. So I would say over the last 6-7 years, maybe 2 of the years they had decent records, other years they had crappy records, but we're still talking about how Atlanta's actually a better team than what the record is. And I don't know how many more years you have to have a bad record to just be a bad team. Like, I just think they're not that good of a team. I don't think, I mean, they have some flashy players, but they don't fit together very well, in my estimation. The defense is always highly inconsistent, and they always collapse. They're like the Lions of the South. I mean, that's what I think the Atlanta Falcons are. So I'm glad the Packers are playing them this week, because they got way too many injuries to play somebody else. I'm scared about that.
I don't think the Falcons are good.
Okay.
I didn't go that far.
All right, fair enough.
However, I think there's enough potential that if the Packers come in overconfident, and the lack of hustle that you guys talked about earlier this week, they don't get any pressure on Ryan, or for that matter, even the running game. I mean, the Falcons are a pass-happy team. They're going to be throwing the ball a lot, but we know Green Bay certainly leaves plenty of opportunity for a team to establish the running game, and they've got potential to do some damage there too. So
I understand that. The only thing is Todd Gurley looks still a little slow and a little beat up to me, and I'm not all that concerned about him. I think he might get injured. partway through the game?
All I know is he had 14 carries for 81 yards and a touchdown at one point when I was watching with like 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
That's pretty good. 14 carries, 81 yards. And I watched that I didn't watch the whole game. I was like, how did the Bears come back and win? I want to know. So I watched that part. And honestly, Nick Foles did not look that great. He was overthrowing guys. He was underthrowing guys. The Bears had at least 6 drops, like in their hands drops, like between the receivers and the tight ends. I don't know what it made zero sense. And then Atlanta would get the ball. Okay. Like there was one time they threw a touchdown pass and they overturned it. So it was still 26-10. Then Atlanta gets the ball and they pass, run, pass, incompletions, punt. They take hardly any time off the clock.
Yeah.
Then the Bears go and somehow they got a penalty to get a first down inside the 30 or something on a play. And then they went in and somebody caught a touchdown. I don't know who or why or whatever. Then the Falcons get the ball, and they pass. And they're all incompletions. Like the first one was a really dumb pass. The second one was into the flat, and Matt Ryan threw it like a freaking bullet at the guy over his head. So the guy, he's like, couldn't catch it, bounced off his hands. And then on third down, he goes and chucks a super deep one. Now the guy was open, okay, but he threw a 45-yard bomb on third down and like 8 or 10 or whatever when they had the lead. And it overthrew them and it stopped the clock and the Bears got the ball back and there's still 4 minutes. Like I swear, like 20 or 30 seconds came off the clock between when the Bears scored that touchdown and then the Bears got the ball again. And I was like, what are they doing? It's just dumb. Like they deserved to lose that game. That's how stupid it was. And then the Bears go down and can't do anything. They suck. He's overthrowing guys on the sideline, Foles. It looks terrible. And they get inside the 20 and it's third down on the 17-yard line. And Foles, and okay, here's the Falcons call on 3rd and 17, okay, with a 4-point lead. This is what the defense the Falcons call is. Man press, blitz everybody, 0 deep safety coverage. That's what they call. They blitz everybody, and Foles, as you know, stands in the pocket until the very last second. Touchdown. Because there's no free safety in the middle of the field. So the guy in the slot got beat, or the corner in the nickel slot got beat by 17, whoever that is, caught it, touchdown, boom. Next thing you know, the Bears are winning by 3.
Whoever
the Bears winning by 4.
And
I was just like, what are you doing? Why are you calling a man freaking press, blitz everybody, 0 coverage?
Because that's who Atlanta is, dude.
It was the dumbest thing I ever seen. And then, of course,
they don't know how to play.
Matt Ryan throws a pick because he thinks the guy's going to be open because of what the corner does. But he doesn't look at the free safety sitting there. And he just throws it right to him. And then the game's over and the Bears win. The Bears had no business winning that game. The Falcons gave it to him 3 times. It's just like, here you go. Here, I'll throw it. It looked just like the freaking Super Bowl. So are Hauser, I don't know what Hauser's thinking.
Hold on.
Cheetahs is out of a touchdown. No,
we'll get to Hauser in a second. But all the things you're saying, Ben, make me think.
It's ridiculous.
They make me think what you are saying. What you're saying is the Packers' strategy for this game is to get down big early because Atlanta does not know how to play with the lead. So actually, rather than playing in a back and forth shootout, it's better for them to let Atlanta get a big lead early and then come storming back and steal the game away. Because that's what Atlanta does. They collapse and they give the games away.
If you have a guy who had 14 carries for 81 yards, why would you pass? Because
they don't know how to finish. They don't know how to play with the lead. They don't know how to play.
Who's calling these plays?
I don't know. They need Darrell Bevel or something. I don't know what their problem is.
It was just the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And here's the thing, though. The defense of Atlanta is like crazy. Like they are all over
they're fast.
They're fast. They're everywhere. Fast. And the Packers have 0 speed other than one guy who can't catch. And then Tyler Swervin Irvin. So that scares the crap out of me. Are any of these guys going to get open? Lazard's out. Devontae, who knows if he's going to play? You got Darius Shepard and, a bunch of tight ends.
Hold on a second. Ben, you're getting too far ahead here.
No, I'm just talking like, what are we going to – the Falcons are actually pretty – like Rick's right. There are a lot of things.
We'll get into it.
It's a matchup problem.
Yeah.
The Atlanta speed. Hey, what kind of defense does Atlanta play? They play the Seattle freaking cover zone with freaking 4 down linemen who rush the quarterback. Same crap. And what did the Packers who did they play last year that did that? Oh yeah, the Chargers. What did happen? They got their butts kicked. Oh yeah, the 49ers twice. What happened? They got their butts kicked. Atlanta plays the same crap. Same defense. So if Billy Turner don't want to block this time like he did last year, Rodgers is in trouble. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying the Packers can win. I'm just saying there are like for anybody who's like, oh, it's fine. They're 0-3. It's not. They're not 0-3 because they don't have talent. They're 0-3 because they're stupid, but not because they don't have talent. And the Packers are the opposite. The Packers kind of lack talent. And they do the right thing and the smart thing, and that's how they win the games and score a bunch of points.
Well, we've talked about it. They take advantage.
Eventually, talent can outdo, smart sometimes, and then you're in trouble.
The Packers take advantage when other teams make mistakes. That's how they've turned each of the first 3 games around. The other team started making mistakes. The Packers took advantage, and then all of a sudden they got a lead. Up until that, they were either behind or it was a close game. Don't get me wrong. I want to let Rick talk here because he's typing some stuff in the chat, and I want to know where he's coming from. And then other people are saying stuff.
Oh, and then just a heads up.
Hauser's all over this with the Bears.
I figured it out, just so you know.
What'd you get?
No, I figured it out.
Oh, how to do it? Okay, well that's good. I'm glad you've.
So I'm thinking I got 5 different things, so we could just sprinkle one in, and then later on we'll sprinkle another one in like 10 minutes.
Right.
And you guys just keep talking, and I'll just sprinkle my stuff in, and then there you go.
All right, hang on 1 second here. Okay. Anyway, the one point I wanted to make is, don't get me wrong. This is not going to be a cakewalk. It's probably not even going to be a blowout. It's probably going to be a close game, high scoring, like Rick said. Hauser, I'm glad you're really excited that the Bears are 3-0. That's certainly better than the alternative. You should be excited that they won some games.
It's good to hear from you, Hauser.
Yeah. And I don't know. Why does Bernard say you're hating all the time, Rick? What's going on here? Or is he talking about Eric Hayden? I don't know. Rick, what do you mean? Oh, it's not hate, just cynical take. Atlanta will out-Packer the Packers. What the heck does that mean?
That means
what is this?
Explain yourself.
I'm pulling for the Packers. I'm not hating the Packers.
Okay.
I'm just a little concerned that they're not going to show up until they're trying to come from behind. But I think Atlanta has a tendency to do a lot of the same things that we've seen Green Bay do over the last few years. And that's not be able to sit on a lead or have to get into a shootout to try to come back. They score a lot of points, but a lot of it's either trying to catch up or they've blown a lead and they need to try to get back into the game. They can't. A lead isn't secure, and that's, I think, a lot of what we've seen with Green Bay too. Green Bay is 3-0, but they haven't been dominant wins. Okay, maybe the Minnesota game, but Green Bay hasn't been steamrolling people either. So
did you miss the Lions game there, Rick? Come on, dude. They won by 20 points. They creamed them.
Four quarters of good football.
No.
Hey.
No. And the defense.
4 quarters of good Aaron Jones, baby.
The offense has been consistently good. Maybe a little bit slower starts, but really they've scored on their first possessions. It's just sometimes it's been a field goal or stalled out drive, but it's not like they've had 3 and out. They've moved the ball and they've actually scored on their first possessions of every game, but they had situations where the defense was just like non-existent. And so the other team's offenses in those games just up and down the field. Well, then they were behind, but the offense was consistently good throughout the game. The defense has got to pick it up. They got to come out and show some fire. I mean, we talked about it. We talked about it on Tuesday. We talked about we need effort from the Smiths. We need better effort from most of the guys. That really the only guys that are playing on the defensive side of the ball right now that are playing hard throughout are Jair, Sullivan, and Gary was. And then I like the
Hi,
effort
Summers.
Barnes and Summers. But
Barnes and Summers.
those guys are raw. They got a little stuff to clean up, some technique things. And they talked about that. Summers in his interview this week said, he's like, when you looked at the tape, we were in position to make some of the plays. We just didn't make them because of technique things. So they're aware of that. They're going to work on it. I'm not as concerned about Atlanta. The weird part about Atlanta is they have talent. They've always had talent. They have all this speed on defense. How their defense goes from being really good early on to just giving up, being so porous in the second half of games, I don't know. I really don't get it. But they do. That's their track record. So I just hope that continues. And I hope the Packers can at least get a little control of the game so they can use the running game because they're going to need it. Because right now, Alan Lazard played through the Saints game with his core muscle injury, apparently, and then had to have surgery on that injury. So the guy's tough. He played through it to have his best game of his career. And now he's out for who knows how long. So because of that, this is what I have to drink tonight. Because now the Packers have 2 receivers that were on the team before this year. And the other guys, we don't know who the heck they are, or they're cast-offs from other teams, or they're guys that couldn't even make the practice squad or whatever. Alan Lazard, come back fast, buddy.
Whoa.
Well, if I knew we were doing whiskey tonight, would have planned accordingly. I'm not disagreeing with you. I think the offense is fine. The offense has looked really, I think, quite good so far this year. I like that they've shown more commitment to the run, even though sometimes their play calling is a little unconventional. But Rodgers doesn't have tunnel vision. He's looking at different receivers, and some of that's out of necessity last week. But it's, he's spreading the ball around. They're running some different routes and different looks, and they're working in the run. It's not just the run being an afterthought. And I think that could really be key this week, is that if Green Bay does get up early, or even if it's a close game, if they can establish the run, keep Atlanta's offense off the field, it's going to be helping their defense out, especially in the second half. So I'm not disagreeing. I think the offense has looked good. My concern is more in the defense. We're just going to turn into a track meet going up and down the field. And that, I think, is where, especially with Green Bay's injuries and injuries at receiver, you could run into problems if you got to try to keep pace. And it turns into a 2-minute drive, score, 2-minute drive, score, back and forth. So, anyway.
Agreed. The one thing I'll say about that before Ben plays his first video that he spent so much time working on. Yes, Joshua George, New Orleans has 1 win. Ekis, we'll get to you in a second. Your comments about the defense, because you're just wrong. The thing about the defense, though, is that the Packers. So here's where Eric, what you said just made me feel better. If it is a track meet back and forth, as you say, usually in those games, what the difference is the team that turns the ball over loses and the team that doesn't turn the ball over wins. And the Packers have not turned the ball over. Now, the only thing that concerns me is some of these younger, inexperienced receivers having to possibly handle the ball and run with it. That I have a little concern that they might turn the ball over. But if it's Jones handling it or Rodgers talking about throwing it where he wants to throw it, I'm not worried about that. And Atlanta has shown they can turn the ball over, and they do. So that makes me think the Packers will win that game too. So, Eric, right now what you're doing is you're taking my only concerns and you're no longer making me feel concerned about them. Because you're
I think it was the whiskey that's making you feel less concerned, but I'm glad I can help out.
All right, Ekis, Ben, play your video after this. Ekis says, is it effort? Some guys play their asses off. We got to say asses because remember, like a couple of weeks ago, Ben used the
Some guys.
Ben used the A word like 3 times within an 8-word sentence. Anyway, he thinks it's the scheme and tackling. If they can wrap up instead of this bump crap like Baltimore, Seattle, New England, fix that. We're okay. Not great, but okay. Ekis, they still have major deficiencies at safety. They still have major deficiencies at least whatever cornerback Kevin King is playing. They still have major deficiencies on the defensive line. So that but it's also the guys that are supposed to be the producers, the Smiths, and the safeties are supposed to be good. I get a high price free agent and a first round draft pick. To me, when you watch him, it looks like effort. There's no, and Ben and I have talked about it. There's no swarming to the ball. There's no pursuit. Swarming to the ball, regardless of your responsibility on the initial play. Once you identify where that ball is, a lack of pursuit is all effort. There's nothing else with that. So that's what that is. Anyway, just to let you know. All right, Ben, what do you got here? I think Devontae is going to play, hopefully. I guess Kenny Clark practiced today, too. We can cross our fingers, if those guys are in there, that helps a ton. But I'm not sure about like Ben and I said, I mean, the bye week after this one, you definitely don't want to rush those two guys back before they're ready. Because if they come back too soon, those are lingering injuries that will continue almost all stinking season long. Ben, are you ready with your screen share?
Well, are you ready?
I'm always ready. Just
okay. We're gonna do something here. I got some videos created that are all based on last Tuesday's show. So let's see if this works. How we doing? Does this look good?
Yep.
You got something up there? All right.
I think we're violating several copyright laws.
No, we're not.
Likely be banned from YouTube after this, but that's okay.
Okay, so
we've done it before.
I got all this fun video stuff here. I don't know why it keeps playing. Go back to the beginning, you stupid thing.
You got to grab that and drag it, Ben. There you go.
I'm trying, but it don't go back.
I'm going to introduce you to a computer. This is how it works.
Okay,
I'm sorry, just kidding.
This is the WTF play. As you're looking here, I got some arrows. I got some stuff going on. This is going to be about Eckes' effort. We're going to talk about Eckes' effort. We're going to talk about dumb play calling. Look at this. I'm going to pause it. Did you see what I did there? There's not a single Packer for 45 yards between Redmond and like King or somebody who's way back here. Okay. The Packers are playing man coverage on this play, by the way. Why would you play man coverage and follow receivers past 20 yards downfield when you know Drew Brees can't even throw it 20 yards? I don't know, but that's what they did. And as you can see, there is not a single person here. So if Redmond misses this tackle, it's called Screwedville. And guess what happened? Screwedville. So we're going to keep going with the play. I got a couple arrows I drew on here. We'll take a look at them when they show up. I'll tell you what the problem is. So I'm talking about all this stuff. Here you go. This is the offensive lineman McCoy. He is running 16 miles an hour right now. In front of Kamara's 15 miles an hour. And that is Amos.
Pause it. Go back a second. Go back just a second.
Why?
Go back a second. Because I want people to look at Zadarius Smith on this.
Okay, that's coming. Hang on. We got it at the end.
All right. You're good.
Okay, so, all right. So Jair totally misses. These guys come up and block King and Savage, who I don't know what Savage is doing. He's diving and not tackling. And then, of course, the only guy who actually sort of moved down there, Lancaster and Sullivan. I circled him because he blitzed on the other side of the field and got all the way down there to try to at least sort of do something, right? So now we're going to watch this from the other angle, and I'm going to show you a couple things that were really stupid. First of all, you got right here is Ty Summers in purple. He's covering this tight end. The tight end stays in and blocks. But because he's playing man, he never goes over here to help out with Kamara because he's so worried about this tight end. Even though he's still blocking and he's 20 yards downfield. That's something Ty Summers needs to learn. That was Chandon Sullivan, who blitzed, by the way, one of our best cover corners. So that's the biggest problem down there. That's the other reason why there's nobody. Now, Summers is on his way over there. He takes a straight angle and totally whiffs, which equals bad news. Okay? And if you look here, there's guys chasing him. There's guys running him down, touchdown. Now I want you to watch this play. This angle, I'm going to circle Zadarius Smith, and I want you to watch him the entire play. Rick, this is pathetic. Did you see this, Rick? I'm sure you saw it in the highlights. Oh, this is just the angle again. From the other angle, I just show you where there's right there. That's Lancaster at the 50. He's run as fast as he can, which is not that fast. But he's getting down there, and he's going. And then he says, ah! And he put his afterburners on for the last 5 to try to get there before he scored a touchdown. But at least he tried. At least he tried, Eckes. So we got one guy with effort. Here's Zadarius. I just circled him in blue, or in red. Watch him. Okay, now watch him. There he is, right here. Right there. I just hit that red underline, right here, right there. Ty Summers was out of bounds. He's going to get there before Zadarius gets there, by the way. Ty Summers is ahead of Zadarius on that play. That is the captain of the defense. The captain of the defense loafed it all the way down the field. And he is the C on the chest. So if the C on the chest is loafing it, what are the other guys going to do? I'm calling him out. Zadarius Smith needs to start playing like a captain, big-time paid superstar, and start all-out balling it. That's the end of that video. I'll have another one later.
All right, I got to say something about that Tyler Lancaster afterburners. That was reminiscent of Rick's afterburners in the 800 that we ran our senior year of high school, where Rick turned them on, and he was nice enough not to pass me because he didn't want me to feel bad. Because it was where the throwers, we got to pick races. You know, we ran the 800 and stuff for one meet in track. And Rick was like, I was ahead of Rick the whole time. And Rick had the afterburners at the end. But then he was on pace to pass me, no problem, because I was dead. Because he had like dead Jason like tonight. That's what I was like at the end of the last 200 of the 800. And he could have, but then he's like, Jason will feel really bad. So I'll just shut it down here. And I know you did that on purpose, Rick. I appreciate that. We got to unmute yourself, though. You're muted still. That's okay.
Sorry, my dog was going crazy, so I muted myself.
I know. Tell us about that last 200.
Two key points here. You know, I don't have a natural runner's build, so I catch a lot of people off guard with that. And, secondly, this was the meet against a school that had 13 people in the school, so we kind of got to pick whatever we wanted to do and actually had a chance at placing. So, it wasn't my favorite event, but
no, I hated it. But we just decided to run one anyway. Anyway, that play makes me want to drink this. That play is so bad. I
will say Lancaster took a good angle. You know, he
he went straight.
He knew where he had to be to cut him off. But yeah, it is disappointing to see the guys. I mean, both the Smiths that came in last year played hard, kind of redefined the defense. And you're right. I mean, it's kind of like they're dogging it this year. I don't know what it is. If it's they feel like they made a name for themselves, secured their spot, they don't need to hustle. Then you got guys like Barnes who, let's face it, probably isn't the same caliber of athlete, but there were plays that he's, running down the play. I mean, catching him at the sideline, maybe wouldn't have run him down in time to make the play himself, but certainly not the swarming we'd like to see that Ben's commented on. But there are some guys that are showing some signs of hustle, but it would be nice if they had their key playmakers playing at that same level.
Here's the thing about Preston and Zadarius Smith, right? And what they do. So when they make a sack, or like Zadarius gets the strip fumble, recovery and all that, which is a great play. He stripped the ball. He was unblocked. We talked about it. It was still a great play. He made the strip and he made the fumble recovery. Awesome. And that's what people remember. So they don't realize 80% of the snaps he showed that kind of effort. I mean, I watched him very closely. All right, Marty. Damn it, I'm trying to make a point over here. I watched him very closely throughout the game, and effort was not there. And on top of it, he does a lot of things where he abandons his responsibility. So as much as I said I love Zadarius Smith, I don't love what I'm seeing out of him this year.
I heard it week 1. You said he was your favorite player.
I know.
I went back and watched that.
I will say that's mostly because I'm envious of how thick his beard is, because I can never grow a beard, and he just has such a full beard. It's very impressive. So that probably won me over. It put me over the top. But I heard it on all of these different shows, all of these different Packer podcasts. I heard the same damn thing. And what did we tell you on Tuesday night? We told you that Zadarius Smith play was not the turning point of the game. But what did every other place tell you? That was the play of the game. That turned the game around. Bull crap, it did not. Yes, the Packers got the ball. Then they didn't do a heck of a lot with it. Mason Crosby kicked another long field goal, which that is not automatic for a lot of teams, so don't overlook that. Mason, it was awesome. And then the Saints got the ball back, and they were moving. They could have moved, but the 3 and out by the defense, 3 key plays, including the third down stop by Sullivan, that was the defensive turning point of the game. That's what gave the Packers control. The fact that all of these other media people, a bunch of them that get paid a lot of money to watch this stuff and do it, that fact that they all told you wrong and everybody in the world wrong is really annoying to people like me, because we're telling you what's actually was the turning point of the game. And that was that defensive 3 and out. And most of the people were like, that big fumble recovery. And then they're like, oh yeah. And then there was that 3 and out after. That was nice. Yeah. I mean, that was pretty good. Shut up.
Speaking of that 3 and out. Speaking of that 3 and out, hey, look what I got. I got the 3 and out. Pretty exciting, huh?
I think the whiskey's.
I
I think the whiskey's talking now. Okay, go ahead, Ben.
Okay. The other day remember I said on Tuesday that I thought that the 3 and out, all 3 plays were man? Wrong. I was wrong. First down was actually quarters, but with like Kevin King and Jair here and here. We're playing like a shallow quarter. And then, if I move this ahead a little bit, the inside guys, here's Summers, here's Preston, here's Redmond. They're all playing a shallow zone. And then even Win 93 jumps out and does a BJ Raji zone in the middle here. And they only rushed 3. And I was like, hey, that's a freaking awesome defense against Drew Brees. You got the whole field covered wherever he wants to throw the ball, because he can't throw it more than 20 yards. You got everything covered, right? Well, hey, let's see what happens when you call that defense. You look here. Brees is ready. We got 3 guys blitzing. That's what those 3 arrows are for. You got Kamara come out of the backfield. You got Barnes sitting there waiting for him in the flat. Brees chucks it to him, even though this guy's open right here, by the way. But hey, that's all right. Boom, catches it. Before he can make a move, Barnes tackles him for a 3-yard gain. First down. Awesome. So I'm thinking that was a great call. That was a great call. It wasn't man. Okay, this is still the same play, just from the other angle here.
One thing I like about the end of this play is look at a couple guys running over there.
Oh, just wait.
Jair
and who are they?
and
Jair and Win. Jair, Win, and Summers. Those are your 3 guys. Okay, so now here's second down. Okay, 2nd and 7. All right, so now this is man. So I had all those guys lined up, right? I got to go back. Well, whatever. We'll see. All these guys, there's 5 receivers. Every one of them is playing man, okay? There's somebody covering them on this play. Except for these 2 guys. Summers is here playing a shallow zone. Back here, you've got Savage playing a deep zone, okay? On the route, what happens is you're going to see, I got some arrows showing up here in a bit. So you get the motion, that's telling him that it's zone. That's telling Brees that it's man. So he's not expecting Summers to be there in the middle. Now, if you look at that, I had the route combination up there. This guy is going to do a deep out, and Sullivan knows he has no help to the outside because Savage is deep middle. So he's got to stay with him. And King knows it too. So King lets him go because otherwise he'd run into him, which is a smart move by King. King lets him go because King knows he's got inside help. Sullivan has to stay with this guy deep or he's in trouble. And then over here, Kamara comes out of the backfield, which takes Redmond because he's playing man, and he takes him out of the play. This is Amos. He's covering the tight end. And then Jair is down here covering this wide receiver, and they both go deep on the play. And, of course, Brees ain't throwing the ball deep. So watch here. You watch King. He could run into him. He kind of goes around him. Make sure he doesn't get in the way. But he's way far off of that's that really fast guy. And then Summers, who's playing his zone. As soon as he catches it, boom, tackle, 2-yard gain. So that was man with a zone in the middle, kind of like a hybrid, which was awesome. Perfectly great play. Here's another angle of it, same type of thing. You can see what Summers is looking at, which is pretty sweet. He's looking here at the tight end, but he sees he's going deep, so he knows his responsibility is down here. He's not even looking at this guy. He's looking at Breeze the whole time. And as soon as he sees Breeze throw the ball, he knows, oh, here's somebody coming. I'm going to tackle him right away. Boom. Super awesome.
Let me say one thing about that, because I got to say this.
Yep.
How many times do we see, and how many times have we as Packer fans seen zone coverage calls in the past where you have a situation like that, and that player, instead of recognizing that there's really only one player to cover in his zone, so go cover him, they sit back kind of in the middle and do nothing.
Well, there's something coming up later.
We saw that over and over. That was a great play by Summers. I mean, that's how you got to play it. That's exactly what you do. Like, zone doesn't mean you just sit in the middle of that zone and look around and wait for, them to complete a pass or whatever. If you
he also
guy,
he could have went deep with the tight end, but he knew he had Savage behind him.
Right.
So he was like, no, I'm here. I'm worried about shallow crosses. And Drew Brees throws a lot of freaking shallow crosses and passes to the flat.
That's a great
so
play.
he didn't, when you watch that, he didn't even have any receivers around him. He was looking strictly at Brees, and he saw Brees cock the ball, and he knew something's coming up. And then there he flashed in front of him, boom, tackled him. Why Brees threw it there, I don't know. When Summers was standing there, I mean, he waited till he got past Summers, but Summers had enough burst and speed to get there and tackle him as soon as he caught the ball. It was a great play.
Nice.
Now, third down, another great play. So this time, okay, this is crazy when I watch this. So you got Amos back here, okay? He's doing zone. Everybody else, I think this is all zone as well. But when you look up here, we got two Packers. That's King and Sullivan. Here you've got a tight end on the outside. I thought that was just a wide receiver. That's a tight end. So I'm going to show you something about Kevin King, and I'm actually going to give him some props.
All right.
And then I think this is Emmanuel Sanders. And then you got Kamara over here. Three guys, and Kamara, who's going to be going for 1,000,000 yards if they don't stop him, right? Which is what I kind of drew up here. So this is what happens if these two guys get their blocks. You're telling me Amos is going to get over here in time to catch Kamara when he goes around the outside and he's gone? No, he's going to be gone for a touchdown. Unless these two guys here can somehow get past these two blocks, which is what they do, which is awesome. So we're going to, the wide shot doesn't show it as good, but when they go to the next shot where it's got a tighter shot, you can see what Kevin King does, which is super good. I'm going to give him props. I'm going to give King props for once.
All right.
Usually we talk smack about him, but I'm telling you, he does a great job. And the other thing I'm going to show you is something that a problem with Zadarius Smith on this play. That isn't a problem with any of the other three guys that are right next to him on the line, by the way. But we'll get to that in a second.
Can I just make one quick thing? Pause it for a second.
Yeah.
I'm really curious as to why in a 3rd and 5, Adrian Amos is starting 20 yards downfield, and then his first step is backwards. I mean, I just don't understand defensive calls sometimes. Like, seriously, do you want to stop them from getting the first down? I mean,
well, especially when the other thing is weird is all three of those guys, Kamara was lined up in the slot.
Yeah.
And there was still only two Packers on the line of scrimmage over there. Like, that was we got lucky. We got lucky that Sullivan is a go-getter and he goes for the play, because otherwise we'd be in deep trouble. Now I want you to watch these three guys. 44, which is Summers, 42, Owen Burks, 91, which is Preston, right?
Yep.
All three of these guys, their heads are up. They're looking at Drew Brees. Even as they're getting blocked, their heads are up and they're looking at Drew Brees, okay? And as soon as Drew Brees cocks his arm and turns his body, they start taking off this way. Z is worried about his guy in front of him. He's trying to beat his guy in front of him. And you'll watch how these three guys go flying off the screen this way, and Z is still going to the quarterback, even though the ball is long gone. And it's because he is not aware of what's going on. All three of these guys are aware. And you can just watch this and you'll see what happens. All their heads are up. They all go flying. Look where Z is. He's still going to Breeze. And then over here, okay, watch Kevin King. See how he gets his body super low. He bends down as far as he can to stop that tight end from moving forward. Right? Just like Mike Daniels used to do. That's a great job, especially against a tight end. I thought he was just getting blocked. He was not. He went down, held his ground to force that back to the inside. And then Shannon beat the crap out of, I don't know what, Sanders didn't even block him at all. And Shannon went straight through to make the play. Plus, Look at all these guys. Boom, boom, boom. 6 Packers swarming to the ball because their heads were up and they were looking at Drew Brees. And that's what makes a great play. That's what makes a 3 and out. And they're all the guys we talk about. You got Summers, Owen Burks is making a play. Even Preston had his heads up and was down there. But who's the last guy there? Z. And why? Because he wasn't aware. He's trying to beat the man in front of him to get a sack. But he's not worried about anything else that's going on in the play. And you just watch it on this play. Those other 3 guys on the line of scrimmage, even 2 of them, Owen Burks and Preston Smith, were getting blocked. Their heads were still up, and they watched Breeze throw it, and they went, boom, gone as soon as that happened. And that's the difference. I don't know what Z's doing. He's too worried about beating his one guy to get his sacks, make his big play once per game, instead of making every play on every down. So that's the end of that play, and I'll let you guys talk some more. I got 3 more if you want to do them.
Rick, what do you think?
I think on a 3rd and 5, when you're playing a 0-6-5 defense, I mean, there were no defense. I know they've got injuries on their defensive line, but 0 defensive linemen. I mean, if they try to do this against Atlanta, it's going to be a problem. And let's face it, the Z tackle is not a good idea. I mean, it might have been a cool idea once as a gimmick, but Za'Darius is not a down lineman. He's not a defensive tackle. It's a bad idea. Don't do it. If you're going to do that, those guys better be swarming to the ball, because if there's a run up the gut, I don't think they're going to be able to stop it.
Well, I don't think they would either. I mean, it's crazy that they called those type of plays there when they were running the ball just fine all game. And then when the money's on the line, they're throwing these, dump off to Kamara, dump off to what's his face. And I mean, I know the dump off got him a big play, but you don't think Pettin got in their guys' faces and like, come on, you guys, what the crap are you doing? Let's get out there and make some plays. And they started swarming after that.
Even on that play, it's not an empty backfield.
No, I mean,
it would have been easy to, audible into something. Was it Latavius Murray, whoever they had back there?
Yeah, but Brees saw
the other way.
He saw, Kamara and 2 blockers and only 2 Packers over there. Right. I would have threw it. As soon as he caught it, he went through it because he was like, "Hey, we got numbers, we're good."
Right.
I mean, Kevin King made a great play on that one, and so did and Chandon, and then all the guys swarmed over, and it was like that was awesome. That was awesome.
That's what you need, especially after they had so much trouble tackling Kamara all game. Yeah. Like that's what you need. You needed that pursuit and that many bodies, and that was great to see. I mean, I'm glad they stepped up when they needed it, and that was the turning point, and that was really good to see. I think you're absolutely right, though. I think what's happened is, you don't. It's just like corners and safeties and interceptions and stuff like that, right? You don't make the Pro Bowl for playing good solid cornerback or good solid safety or good solid outside linebacker. You make the Pro Bowl for the splash plays, and that's what you get noticed for, and that's what you get recognition for. And the splash plays are great, but sometimes, unless it's a turnover, it's not all that important, really, because how many times do we see sacks and then teams recover from the sack and still get a first down? It happens all the time. So if you can play good, solid defense, I'd take that any day over the splash plays.
And I liked the fact that I think they're a pretty good zone team. I think the guys can play zone. I think Summers, all those guys, they're fast. Their heads are up. They're reading things. Now, those are on passing situations. I don't know how well they're going to do against the run. The other problem is when you play zone against the run, you're more susceptible to play action. But I mean, we that game showed to the Packers. The Packers ran play action all the time, and the Saints were playing man all the time, and they got schooled left and right on the play action plays because they were playing man. They had no zone. Sometimes helps against play action because your heads are up, and you miss it at first, but then you get it eventually. But it depends if it's a shallow cross or whatever. Like I would expect to see, like this week against the Falcons are going to play some of that zone, right? So the best way, we're not going to see the same type of play action as we did against New Orleans for the Packers offense. But before we get to that, I was going to show one more defensive play here. This is the one I was talking about on Tuesday. where I called it the I don't know what that is. I call it the dumbest blitz of all time or whatever. And it is the dumbest blitz I've ever seen. Dumbest zone blitz. All right, here it is. So this is 3rd and 6 at the Green Bay 44 with 55 seconds left in the first half. Okay. So on this play, this is what happens. You have, and here you go, Rick. Here's another one of those 0, 4, 7 plays again. You got you got Preston Smith and Owen Burks right here. They drop back into a zone coverage here. Okay. The line of scrimmage, or the first down marker, is right here at the 38-yard line. Because they need to get 6 yards, and they're right now at the 44. Okay. This here is Z. He's blitzing. This is Ty Summers. This is Preston. This is Redmond. And this is Amos. They blitz all 4 of these guys on this side of the field. So if this was a delayed handoff up the gut, it would go for like a touchdown, by the way. That's how dumb this blitz is. But luckily for us, it wasn't that. It was still a pass, but it was still a first down. But it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Now, you can watch Preston Smith when he goes back. This is the route combination. Preston's going to go and watch how slow he is here. What is he doing? How is that a zone coverage that's going to do anything? We just watched Ty Summers in zone coverage attack. We just watched what's his name? Barnett or whatever his name was. Attack, right? Barnes, attack. Preston, he's just kind of loafing it. He's just like hanging out. Hey, what's up, bro? Hey, okay. And then Owen Burks has got to try to make a tackle, but they got 7 yards to get a first down. So what are they doing? It's just another dumb play. And a dumb, like, it makes no sense.
I think they're trying to be gimmicky given the lack of depth they have. I mean, we know they needed defensive line help. They needed help even before Kenny Clark got hurt. But you can't make up for that with gimmicks. This is the kind of thing you do really in a pinch for a few plays or at the end of a game if you're really left with no other choice. And it seems to be part of their regular scheme at this point. And if they don't fix it, I mean, anyone who's watched this tape is going to see this and exploit it in weeks to come.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to see the formation where they don't have any defensive linemen out there. And it's not going to be hard to devise something where it's just going to pound it up the middle and eat them alive.
So. And it doesn't matter how used up Todd Gurley is. You know, if you got that wide of a hole where you're dropping guys right out of the middle of the defense, I mean, he's going to run for 20 yards. Doesn't matter who. I could run. Well, I couldn't run for 20. I could run for 5 yards before Preston Smith. I mean, I might be able to juke out Preston Smith on that play. I wouldn't be able to juke out Owen Burks, but Preston Smith didn't look too nimble to be playing zone coverage on anybody, much less a wide receiver, because he was covering a wide receiver on that play. Preston Smith covering a wide receiver in zone. It's honestly the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
That was some of my game notes too, as I was going through, is that they are doing some of these things differently on defense, and they're also in the process with some of these gimmicks. They're not utilizing their players' strengths. Like,
No.
There's no way you should drop Preston Smith into coverage 7 or 8 times a game. That's just stupid. It's not. It's just completely ineffective. If you rush him those times, he might have a chance to beat his guy and get to the quarterback. And we saw how ineffective Ty Summers was as a blitzer, because, he hasn't done a lot of that. But what is he really good at? He's fast. He can cover a lot of ground. Like, have that guy in coverage. Have that guy in his own coverage. He can diagnose, attack, and maybe make the play. Utilize the guy's strengths. Like, what are you doing? Come on. Packers, you can't slip up against Atlanta here. And the only way that, it can happen if this defense doesn't turn around a little bit, play smarter, play a little better, or if the offense isn't dynamite like it's been, or has an off game a little bit, or with these injuries to the wideouts and who knows who's going to play and all that stuff. The defense has got to step up. I've been saying it since the beginning of the season, mostly because that's where so much of the money and the picks are. They should be better, but they also have to be better just to help support the team. and the success. I'm curious. I'm curious what you guys think about for this upcoming game, and maybe in the chat too, what you guys think, what we're going to see out of this Packers offense. Because let's say Devontae Adams, okay, he practiced, but let's say they're like, no, it's a hamstring, and we got a bye week. We're going to let him rest these next 2 weeks and not have him come back. So then we have Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Darius Shepard, and Malik Taylor as our top 3 wideouts. I would assume we're going to see very few 3 wide receiver sets, and that we're going to see a lot of multiple tight ends, 2 and even 3 tight end sets. That would be what I would think. And hopefully a lot more running. But do you guys think that? Do you guys? I mean, I think they can be successful with it, but what do you guys think?
Go for it, Ben.
I think they should unleash the 3 tight end AJ Dillon, run it down your throat offense right now, this week. Because Atlanta's fast, yes, but they're a little bit undersized in a lot of spots. So let's just take it right to them. Take it right to them. Let AJ Dillon run over all those guys. And put just 1 receiver. Matter of fact, don't even put any dang receivers out there. Put 3 tight ends, Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, and then see what they're going to do. And just run all over them. And pass a couple times, sure. Play action, whatever. And see what the Atlanta's going to do. Give them something so different that they'll have no idea. They'll be like, oh my God, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like I think that's their best bet. And it'll shock people. And maybe they won't score 40 points that way, but they'll control the clock. They'll control the ball. And then Atlanta will go out there and they'll do, they might score a couple points, but they'll also go 3 and out on pass, incompletions like ding dongs. And next thing you know, we're running the ball down their throat. We have the ball for 8 minutes and we score another touchdown. And that's what I want to see based on what we have available to us at this point. Take some shots at MVS though, because you got to keep them, legit. They got to be at least worried about something deep, but that's something that I think would be cool. I mean, the one thing I like about this is the first week, what did the Packers do? They saw the Vikings. Where's the Vikings' strength? The middle of the field. So what do? They ran a whole bunch of sweeps and plays to the outside and all this kind of stuff and deep passes to the outside, taking advantage of their young corners, stayed away from the middle of the field. Great. Against the Lions play man coverage most of the time and 4 down linemen most of the time. So the Packers did a lot in the running game. They did combination blocks and then moved up because they knew there wasn't going to be much blitzing. So they take care of the initial defense and then move on to the next level, which then led to Aaron Jones having a huge day, right? That was awesome. And then the game against the Saints, what do the Saints play? Man coverage, and they freaking blitz happy. They're worried about the run, so they're going to sell out for the run. Okay, Aaron Jones didn't have a big game, right? No, but man, they play action, the tight ends all over the place. They play action, Alan Lazard, super deep, right? It was great. And all that stuff happened because there was 3 different approaches that don't look different to the late fan who's watching. They're like, oh, yeah, big Packers are throwing the ball deep every play. Oh, every week they're throwing big plays. Yes, they did have big plays, but they were actually all different types of plays based on the opponent. And that makes me happy because LaFleur is looking at the opponent's defense and finding a way to use his players and put them in the best way to move the ball down the field. And it's working. They're averaging 40 points a game right now. And that is super sweet. And they're doing it in different ways each game. And now this is their bugaboo. This is once again, Matt LaFleur going to a head coach that he once coached under, who knows him well. And every time that happens, he kind of gets in trouble and they kind of stink. So it's going to be interesting to see how LaFleur, what his plan is this time and see if he can come up with something that's going to, shock, Dan Quinn and Atlanta and their defense into being like, oh, what's going on here? And the best way to do that, give them the big stuff. Give them the big guys. Run it down their throat. It's time for an A.J. Dillon sighting and some Aaron Jones sneak attack. Boom. That's what I want to see.
I would agree with that. I think the key is really going to be smart play calling, right? Especially with the receiver core being depleted a bit. MVS is going to be getting the looks. Hopefully it doesn't turn into going deep and just completely screwing a series because they're not picking up some short yardage on first, second down. there's going to be some deeper looks to MVS, but I think, yeah, there's going to be tight ends. You're going to see a lot of the running backs. I agree they should go big, pound it some, but establish a running game if they can. I think so far the offense has done a good job of trying to spread the ball out, give some different looks. It really wouldn't surprise me if they're overloading one side, bringing guys in motion, tight ends, trying to help out, especially on the right side of the line. The offensive line's had issues, but relying heavily on the tight ends, so you're also going to be able to help, chip the defensive end, try to split those guys out a little bit more, help out the offensive line too. I mean, we don't want to overlook the fact that the offensive line is still a little unsettled to say the least at this point too. So, yeah, I think smart play calling, not doing something stupid. Don't try to get cute. Just play good, clean, straight up football. Run the ball, short. Well, safe passes are always going to be the case with Rodgers, but complete passes. Go deep, go 3 and out. That's going to, if they don't establish a rhythm, they get a couple of 3 and outs. It's going to be, I think, a problem, especially early in the game. So,
well, think about what that approach could do for the Packers moving forward in the season too. Like if they completely come out and they say, "All right," and I will credit Matt LaFleur. Like Ben talked about, pointed out how each game's been kind of a different attack, and I think Matt LaFleur has been really doing a great job calling plays and coaching and attacking the other team. And I think he's also given Rodgers kind of latitude within plays as well, kind of like saying, "Hey, we got a couple options here, make the right choice." And Rodgers is making the right choice, in some of those instances. So, but think about like, okay, if the Packers come out in this game because they have so few wide receivers and because of Atlanta's weakness against the run, and they just start coming out big boy formations and start hammering the ball, and they give Dylan gets like 15 carries, 10 or 15 carries in this game. Jones gets 10 to 15 carries or so, maybe 20, and Williams sprinkles in a few, and they're super effective and they do all that and they control the clock. Think about after the bye when they got to play Tampa Bay. What's Tampa Bay going to worry about? Or they're going to be like, wait a minute, we thought we had this team figured out. They just kind of do this stuff. What if they come at us with that they just showed? So if you can be effective at it, you think you got a good matchup defense to show that, you can actually affect all these scouting reports and all these defensive coordinators down the road just by taking that approach in this one game. And what do you have to lose? I mean, if you're down to just a couple of receivers anyway who actually know what the plays are, I mean, should the other guys really be on the field? So go for it. I want to see a lot of 3 tight ends. I want to see, them utilize them in different ways. I want to see a lot of running. And I think it'd be fantastic. Mix in some play action, hit a couple of deep shots, Major Harris them, like we said before. Complete like 5 bombs for your, 250 yards for Rodgers. It'd be, 7 out of 10 for 250 and a couple of tutties. Not a bad day.
Not at all. Hey, I'm going to share another video with you guys. We're going to offense now. If I can get it to play, where am I going?
Ben's getting this technology stuff figured out. This is exciting.
All right, so this is first quarter, first drive of the game. They just got a first down. It's 1st and 10. It's 2 Aaron Jones runs. What I'm showing is that even David Bakhtiari is having some issues in run defense or run blocking and knowing what he's supposed to be doing sometimes, and he kind of got juked out of his shorts. And also Billy Turner is absolutely useless. Okay, so here we go. On this particular play, we got Swerve and Irvin is moving in motion. That's just to see if they're a man or not. He's going to come back over this way. This is going to be around Aaron Jones going like this. Bakhtiari's going to come over here. He wants to block this guy. I don't know who it is, but he just teleports this way, and Bakhtiari totally whiffs on him. Then he just kind of stands there when he could go up and get Demario Davis, but he doesn't. And Demario Davis meets Aaron Jones over here for like a 1-yard gain, and that's it. So let's see what happens on that play. You'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see it really good from the other angle. He totally misses, doesn't get up there. Boom. Aaron Jones is in trouble. Now watch Bakhtiari when you watch him on this. It's from this angle, it's just almost sad. You're wondering, this guy is the top left tackle in the league. I mean, he's a good run blocker or a pass blocker. So watch him. He's going for this guy. Totally whiffs on him. That's not good. Now here comes the worst. That's not even the worst part about this play. I'm going to run it again because I want you to just watch Billy Turner on this play. I'm going to circle Billy Turner here. He's going to be circled in green. Just watch Billy Turner on this running play. Here you go. He took the running play to heart because he just ran. He didn't block anybody. He actually avoided guys. Now, maybe he's supposed to go up to the next level and get a block way downfield. I don't know. But he just says, hey, Cam Jordan, see ya. And
So I think on this play, what Billy's swing and a miss was far worse. I mean, looking at Bakhtiari there, I mean, their whole blocking scheme was to scoop out, right? I mean,
Right.
they're slanting to the left, moving that direction. The guy who's blocking pulls a stunt, goes way inside. So, there's nobody there. In hindsight, looking at the film, yeah, I mean, if he could have got to the backer, that would have been great. But at the same time, he loses his guy. His guy follows right behind him, blows up the play. That's bad too. I mean, it'd be great if he could have got to the backer, but I don't. On that particular play, I think Billy Turner's Matador blocking is far worse than what happened with Bakhtiari.
I forgot to show it. There was another play at the end. I totally forgot to let it keep going, but it was just Billy Turner up against Cam Jordan, just getting schooled. Like, just not even like.
That probably happened.
Cam Jordan takes him, and Aaron Jones runs toward him, and he just and then tackles Aaron Jones. It was like very next play. So Aaron Jones got 1 yard on that first play, and he got 1 yard on the next play. I forgot that I had it on there, but I'm not going to bring it back again. But what I'm saying is, those are two videos. Because me, I'm a big Aaron Jones guy, and he didn't have the greatest numbers in this game, and I was kind of like, well, what happened? Why is it not working so good? And that's just an example of the defensive line for the Saints is quick, and Demario Davis is quick, and he attacks and he follows things, and if you don't get up on him, he's going to make a play. And then Billy Turner doesn't block sometimes. He just doesn't, whether he's playing guard or tackle, apparently. So, okay, Jace, go ahead, talk. I'm sorry.
No, it's a good illustration of that. Yeah, I was just going to say the one thing you would like to see from Bakhtiari, yes, Rick's right. His guy jumped inside. That was the guy he was planning on blocking. But then the one thing you'd like to see is the recognition to not overcommit to that guy because he jumped so far inside, and peel up and see who else he could get, because if he can come off of that and then get the linebacker, then that play has a chance to do a lot more. So, if it's undrafted rookie tackle, okay, I could see that not happening, but your all pro tackle, yeah, you should expect that from him. And not every play is going to be perfect, but that was one too where he just didn't seem to have the recognition he probably should have based on that.
And it was, I mean, to be honest, most of the plays were great in that game for the offense. I mean, the play actually was working.
Yep.
The pass protection was working. The only time it didn't is I have my next and last video I'll play whenever you guys want me to. It's pretty much that play that really went bad, and then another one, but we'll get into that later. But like for the most part, I thought the offense all the way around was executed to a T.
Yeah.
And that's because you're not going to make every play perfect, obviously. But I mean, when you score on almost every drive you have, I mean, come on. Did J.K. Scott even punt in that game? I can't even remember if he did, because he went for it on fourth down a couple times. So
maybe once, or maybe
once.
not at all. But yeah, they've been great. The offense have been clicking, and they've been executing. You're right, Rick.
Frankly, for the piecemeal offensive line they have, I thought they did a pretty decent job overall.
Mm-hmm.
Just again, the Saints have real active defensive ends. Their backers are pretty aggressive, and Rodgers wasn't running for his life. The running backs actually had room to work. I think that's a thumbs up to the offensive line overall. I mean, certainly there are plays that weren't great, as you've illustrated, but overall it wasn't a train wreck. So I think, given what they're working with, I think that's all you can ask for some weeks.
That's because they got guys that'll block with their butts, Eric. They got
Yeah, I didn't
guys
have that.
that'll do whatever they got to do, man. That's
That's
it.
That's awesome.
Lucas Patrick is. Billy Turner said something. Billy Turner's play isn't always that great, but sometimes stuff he says is pretty great. And like this week, he said something about how he's like, we need to all be Lucas Patrick. We need to all be like Lucas Patrick type of effort where we're finishing guys off on every play and blocking to the end and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, yeah, man,
Billy Turner said that?
he said that. I don't know if he realizes that he normally does the exact opposite of that.
Maybe he
But
didn't mean him too.
maybe that's it. But he was talking about how great Lucas Patrick is in that regard. Like he's a dude that gives it his all every time, whether it's his butt or he's blocking a guy a normal way or whatever he's got to do, he'll do it. So I love that about him. All right, I don't have anything else, Ben. So if you got something else you want to go to,
got
let's
one more
do it.
video, real quick. This one's a good one. Actually, it's not. It's bad. It's another bad one. I'm sorry. I had one good
Let's
video.
not be so negative here. Come on.
I'm sorry, but I'm sorry.
And this was supposed to be Tuesday. You got to get your crap together. This is like
I don't
game analysis
this
of.
doesn't show up right away.
Oh, okay. Well, then we got to reschedule our Tuesday show.
Okay. So, hang on here. We're gonna get to it once I. Don't know why
Ben paid for this Game Pass. He's got to use it.
Yeah, gosh dang it! I mean, come on. All right, here we go. So this is the blitz play where Rodgers got sacked. Okay, and it's kind of it's his fault, 100% Rodgers' fault, and I'll show you why in a second. So as you're looking at this, you're gonna see Tanyan comes in motion there, and he goes back out, and this guy follows him right here. So it looks like, hey, they're in man coverage. Rodgers sends Jamal Williams out into the middle of the receivers here in the bunch, and this linebacker goes with him. So it's definitely man coverage because this guy comes from all the way over here to all the way over there to cover him. And Rodgers doesn't, and then Mario Davis is sitting here, and he's like ready to go. He's like, I mean, it's blitz, blitz, blitz. You can tell he wants to blitz. Rodgers doesn't change the protection. He should slide the protection over so Bakhtiari can try to take him if they stunt or whatever. These two guys got to worry about that. And everybody else move over. But he doesn't change it, and you'll see on here what happens. It's really sad because it's like the guy's been in the league for how many years? He should know this stuff. And sometimes this happens. It happened against the 49ers. And it probably happened against Atlanta because they're watching this video and they're seeing what's going on too. So those guys are all man coverage, and Demario Davis is going to blitz. And Bakhtiari has to make a choice, and, he's assigned to block this guy, so he's going to block this guy here. And when the ball gets snapped, within about a second and a half, Rodgers is killed. And you're like, why did that even happen? Like, I remember watching that, I was just like, what is going on here? How does this happen? Like, how did they not even, account for this guy? And you can watch him. Watch 56. Watch how he's just like, he's up there. He's like, whoa, he's ready to go. And Rodgers does nothing. And all he would have to do is, hey, and he's got enough time. He tells Jamal Williams to go over here. You can't tell these guys to, hey, look out, slide your protection over. But he doesn't. And if he would have, as you can see, there'd be one guy for each guy. Now, maybe one of them gets beat, but he'd have a little more time than exactly 1.5 seconds. No. So that sack's all on Rodgers.
All right.
Second play.
One second.
All right. What do you got?
That play, if you notice, before it starts, I think Lucas Patrick is trying to tell the offensive line what to do because he moves his arm to the left.
Well, yeah, he's probably, hey, this guy's going to blitz.
He's probably trying to. So maybe they should just put Lucas Patrick in charge of all that stuff.
Well, that's the other thing. Corey Linsley could have saw it too at center.
Yeah, that's true.
And he could have changed the calls. So, I don't know. This play is one. This is the play after the Zadarius strip fumble recovery, right before they had to kick the field goal. Okay? And the reason why I'm showing this is because Rodgers has a chance to throw the ball to Malik Taylor, and he pump fakes and doesn't. Now, there is a guy in the way, so I think that's why he didn't throw it, to be honest. But if the Packers have a chance against Atlanta, he's going to have to trust in these guys that he's never played with before if they're going to be on the field. And he can't do something like this where he just dumps it off to Jay Sternberger and they kick a field goal because they had him And that fumble, they really need to score a touchdown to put the game away. And they're lucky they got the 3 and out on the next play. So if you look here, what I'm looking at, you'll see, and he could. I don't know if he can change the play. I mean, I was thinking, hey, you can change the play on this sort of thing. So what he's looking at is he's seeing all these guys up at the line of scrimmage ready to blitz. I don't know where my arrows are. They're usually out there. Oh, yeah. Lazard just pointed out that guy's coming. That guy's coming. Okay, here you go. So right here, Lazard has just pointed that this guy's coming. I don't know if anybody paid attention or what. And on the line of scrimmage, there's all these guys. All 4 of these guys are all coming. This guy's coming from all the way over here, and his job is to cover Lazard. Okay? This guy's man-to-man on Malik Taylor on this spot. Both Lazard and Malik Taylor are doing slants. Now, if Rodgers would have changed the play to have Lazard do an out, there'd be nobody there. And this guy would be in trouble because he'd have to cover either Lazard on the slant and get his butt over there to cover him, which would then leave, or this guy with the slant, which would then leave Lazard open in the flat. And if he goes to cover Lazard, then Malik Taylor would be open here for the first down. Because I think it was 3rd and 8 or something. So when you watch this, I got it in slow motion. I was planning on talking a lot more instead of pausing it, but I didn't think that I'd be able to do it. Rodgers pump fakes, doesn't throw it. And you saw Malik Taylor's right here. There's nothing here. But there are 4 guys right here. So they kind of do take away the throwing lane. He'd have to throw it kind of above, up and down kind of thing instead of just drilling it at him. But this would have been a first down. He pump fakes, doesn't do it, probably because it's Malik Taylor, then dumps it off over here to, I think it's Sternberger, for like a 6-yard gain or something, but it's not enough to get the first down. Because there's 2 guys there, they tackle him right away, boom, it's done. And when you look at it from the other angle, you'll see, I think it's DeMario Davis again who jumps up and gets his hands in the way. Yeah, right here, 56. He comes around and then jumps up. And these guys all blitz. This guy's supposed to come back and try to get Lazard way over there, which is nuts. It's just a crazy play call by the Saints, but it worked. Yeah, that's him. He jumps up and tries to get in the pass lane. You watch him. And Rodgers pump fakes and doesn't throw it. So it's probably a smart move because it probably would have been tipped, but he could have thrown it higher and above. But that's just an example of something where I saw, it would have been nice to get that play. It would have been really nice to get that first down to probably try to score a touchdown. And it might have had something to do with the fact that it was a player that he's not as familiar with, so he didn't take the chance. Because let's face it, Rodgers, he likes to throw to the guys he trusts, and some guys he doesn't have the trust built up yet, and he won't throw it to them. But if he doesn't have anybody, Lazard's out and Adams is out. Listen, if Taylor's in the game, and you got the little guy, what's his name? I forgot his name. Holy crap! The guy who bounced off his face.
Shepard. Because it changes.
The last time he threw to Shepard in a game, it bounced off his face and got picked off. So is that in the back of Rodgers' mind? Probably. But he's got to take the chance with these guys if they're in the game. Because if he's not going to throw to him, he's going to get sacked, or he's going to just throw it away. And it's going to be just like it was in 2018 when he's just throwing balls away. He had the most throwaways in the history of the NFL that year.
I don't know. I think that's certainly a concern this week. And I think to this point in the season, he's actually done a pretty decent job of spreading the ball around. Whether that'll continue this week, given how many question marks there are, I think that's going to be one of the keys. Is he going to be able to establish, or just even himself have the confidence to throw to those guys? Because if that's not there, it could be a long game, right? I mean, who's going to be his go-to? MVS?
No.
And yeah, so he has a drop, and then
when it's third down, Jason, when it's third down, who's this guy he counts on to throw to if Lazard and Devontae aren't in the game?
It's got to be Bob Tonyan. He's the most reliable.
And
Big dog.
Big dog.
Big dog can catch, man. He can catch.
Yeah,
but can he get open? I don't know.
Pushes hard enough.
Hey.
Big dog. Hey, seriously, that was one thing to kind of finalize. I was curious to see when the Packers had to face an onside kick, and I was like, who are they going to put out there to be the designated player to get the ball? Because now the way they got to do it, where everything's even on both sides, you got to have 2 guys that are designated to get the ball. And Devontae was out last game, and I was like, who's going to be out there? And on one side it was Lazard. Well, now he's out, so I don't know. Hopefully, if Devontae's not back and Lazard's out, I don't know. I guess I would put Tyler Irvin as my other guy.
Oh yeah.
But the guy on the other side was Bob Tanyan.
Yeah.
So they clearly trust his hands, and he's the guy I would trust based on everything I've seen too. So yeah, I mean, if I'm looking for a third down conversion and people are covered tight, the guy with the best hands, I'm throwing it to Bob Tanyan. But the one thing I'll say about all this stuff you're talking about and all these young receivers and inexperienced guys and guys that barely even know the offense have been around is Rodgers is he's going to have to not do all the normal checks that he likes to do or changes he likes to do, because those guys are just trying to remember the stinking plays, like the regular play, so they're not going to know all the nuance of all that's all those other things. I mean, Malik Taylor was on the Seahawks until a few months ago, and Shepard, at least was in camp, but I don't know how reliable he is. Plus, he's small. So yeah, I don't know. And the other guys that they have on the practice squad are also, it's not like Kumero's sitting there that you could pull him up and be like, hey, he's a guy who at least was around all last year, and a guy we could plug in at least should know what he's doing.
I wouldn't be surprised if
don't have that.
Bagleton is one of the two guys they pull off practice squad and activate,
Mhm.
for the game, because they can do that. Just because he's at least there all,
Right.
all off season working from Zoom, and then he was there in camp, so he should know what's going on. And because really they got nobody. I mean, what would they bring up a guy who they just signed? I know they just signed 2 guys to the practice squad this week, but why would they bring up those guys? I mean, bring up Bagleton.
Yeah.
At least he's got experience playing in a professional football for a number of years. So I think he's a trustworthy target for Rodgers, and I'm assuming that they would have gotten him some practice reps in practice this week with Rodgers to know, hey, this guy's a guy you can trust, and he's a hands catcher. He just doesn't have super speed, right? So, but he can catch. So he might be, the guy that Rodgers looks to as far as a wide receiver with trust, if they bring him, because they don't have to, that's one thing, they don't have to activate him during the week. They can just bring him up from practice squad all the way to the active roster. So that's, or whatever, to the game or whatever it is. But so that'd be interesting to see. I hope they do, because I think Bagleton has got got the chops to do it.
Well, I think the thing we have seen at times in the past, but haven't really talked about tonight, is they might use Jones in a lot of different ways too. Then,
Yeah.
And that's pretty likely. Like, okay, he'll be lined up in a split, or he'll be in the slot, or he'll be flanked out, even in some cases, and they could do different route combinations off of that, where they can get the ball to him quick and he can run with it because he's one of the guys that can run with the ball after he catches it. So, that could be a guy you could also trust on third down, to catch the ball and do the right thing. So I think those are all things we can see. But I still think, okay, yes, I'm a little nervous. Atlanta's going to score a lot of points, but I still think the Packers will find a way to get it done. They take care of the ball if they keep doing that stuff and keep playing a good, solid offense. And if they work in more of this ball control, then they should be in good shape. So that's all I got this week. If you got any parting shots, shoot them now, guys. I guess
Raiders. Who are the Raiders playing, Rick?
Las Vegas.
Texans, I think. I just
0-3 Texans.
Hold on. I don't want to misinform your legion of followers.
I don't think there's many left tonight.
There were like 5 people on at one point. I was one of them.
You're really down. You're really down here.
I'm tired. I told you, I'm tired, man.
Oh, sorry. The Vikings got the Texans.
Oh, okay.
Bills. Yeah, the Raiders are going to lose.
Oh, geez.
Oh, no. Maybe they could.
But it's in the Death Star, so maybe they got a chance.
Yeah, but they got a bunch of guys hurt too. Like their 2 rookie Ruggs and their other rookie receiver are out.
Is he out,
rookie
or is he
corner's
questionable? Because he's questionable on my fantasy list. But
I guess it was pretty unlikely what I read this afternoon. So
okay, let me ask you guys a question. Here's a serious question.
All right.
On my fantasy team, I have MVS and Robert Tanyan. Which one should I play this weekend against Eckes? I'm playing Eckes in fantasy this week, and I got to beat him. Which guy is the one Rodgers is going to throw the ball to more and trust more?
He's going to throw it to Tanyan
You're
more.
going to give me more fantasy points, I should say.
He's going to throw it to
MVS
Tanyan.
has the big play
Yeah.
point.
Well, I
potential.
started MVS last week, and he got me nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm a little gun shy on MVS right now. But I
I
also
think-
know that there's no Lazard, there's no Devontae probably, and it's like, okay, well, who else are you going to throw to? So
I think Tanya. I'd go with Tanya because he's going to have, even if he might not have the opportunity to get any real big plays, which he has the capability of doing against the right matchup or right call. He's going to have more red zone looks and opportunities like that. So,
yeah,
and
the reason why is because I think DJ Chark might be out, and Henry Ruggs might be out. So like my two other guys that one of those two I usually start are both out, or could be out. So it's like I got to put somebody else in there. So it's like, which one of these Packers is going to be the guy who's going to get Lazard and Vontae's targets? Come on.
Bob Tanya and
I would-
start Aaron Jones.
I would say MVS, but I suck at fantasy football, so I guess that means go with Tanya.
I suck too. You know what? I might end up starting, I'll probably start both of them and they'll both suck. And Raj will just throw to Bagleton or something the whole game.
No,
I don't care. As long as the Packers win, I really don't care, to be honest. But I'm trying to figure out what to do, and I don't really know what to do.
My team is pretty straightforward. I don't have to think too much each week. Oh, dang it. I should have led with this. What was I doing? All right. Since we're on it, we'll close with this. You ready? Hafeman Fantasy Football, HFF. Rick, this is why you should come back.
Oh,
This is the 21st year. And I was, mom and dad decided on their own, independently. A mom decided because mom got excited about this. And then dad went along with it. And I have a reason, I think a sneaky reason why dad was like, oh, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Because, normally dad doesn't want to spend money on anything. Dad's very cheap, right? Dad, if you're listening still, you're cheap.
Frugal.
oh my.
So frugal, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so mom's like at this. She's like, we should get a trophy. We should get a traveling trophy that could be the traveling trophy for the league, and then the champion gets to have the trophy and do all this stuff and hold it for the year and blah, all these things. I'm like, okay, that sounds cool, And mom told me about this cool trophy she found, and they talked to this guy who's gonna, make a plaque for it, and all this stuff, and they could put in the name of the winners, and that's all included in the cost and all this stuff. Every year you can bring it back and get the new winner's name on for each year. And so I was like, wow, with 21 years, we never did anything like that and all this stuff and whatever, trying to spice it up a little bit. And I'm thinking to myself, dad went along with this. I mean, I know it's probably not, it's not like hundreds of dollars, at least I hope not, mom and dad, but there's some cost to it. I'm like, dad went along with it. And then I went back and thought, oh yeah, that's right. Dad's crushing it in fantasy football this year. Dad's outscoring everybody else by like 100 points so far. Dad's 3-0. Dad's actually, a few years ago when he had a good record, he still had like the second lowest point total in the league. He just had good defense. This year, he's lighting it up. He's like, so that's the only thing I can think of is dad went along with the spend some money on this trophy because he's going to be the one with the trophy this year. That's what I think.
Could be. All I know is I'm playing Eckes and Christian McCaffrey is out and Devontae Adams may be out. So I'm very happy I'm playing Eckes this week. Because half of his good guys are gone. He still got Mahomes and all that, but hey, I caught him on a good week with no Christian McCaffrey and possibly no Devontae.
I'm
So
glad.
what do you guys?
What do you got, Rick?
I was gonna say, what do you guys do for the games that are postponed? You're out of luck that week?
I didn't know what to do with it. I mean, I know
I
they
just say figure it out.
Originally they were talking about rescheduling for Monday or Tuesday with the
And not
COVID
anymore, no.
situation, and now they're like moving them to the bye week and making this their bye week, I guess. Or
So
don't know.
I think Pittsburgh's bye week got
It's not-
pushed back, or like 2 games for Pittsburgh got shuffled as a result of this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
That's a whole nother thing, which is kind of crazy. I was going to talk about that, but that's too much to get into now. But
come on, we can roll till midnight. Go.
Nope.
Go.
no,
You still
Can't
got
test
like
there.
a quarter of that bottle of whiskey left, man.
Oh
Come
my
on.
God,
What are you doing, man?
I drank as much as I could.
So
I
is
can
that
only
like
take
cask
tiny-
strength, or what do you got?
This is the guy told me it was a 4-year aged bourbon, and I didn't know what that meant. But then I tasted it, and my back of my throat was on fire, and I couldn't talk for like 30 seconds. And I was like, wow, yep, that's definitely not something I normally drink. But actually, now sipping on it, it's it's not bad.
Don't backwash so much and save some for when I can come visit you again.
Whoa.
All right, all
Yeah.
right. Fair enough. Well, I don't know. I got Weasel this week, so I gotta take him out because my team's pretty good this year. I'm just glad when Saquon went down that Robinson guy was available still from Jacksonville. I don't know how he was still available, but I scooped him up. I was like, all right, I'll take this guy, and he was awesome last week. So
No, Gardner wasn't. He kind of stunk. I need him to have a comeback game this week against the Bengals.
that's all right. They can just keep giving it that Robinson guy. That's fine. Gardner, just keep handing it off, buddy, or toss it to that little Robinson guy. He's good.
Okay, sure, that's fine. As long as I get points, I don't care.
All right, Rick, traveling trophy, come on back for year 22.
He's thinking about
Who do you want to get hurt next year? That'll be my first pick.
Well, you know,
Dalvin Cook.
somebody on the Vikings or Bears, or or you could go with the Seahawks, or actually,
Yeah,
why-
Russell Wilson.
Try to get
I wanna
Russell
see him
Wilson.
get hurt.
He's never gotten hurt. He's
Oh,
due
but he'd
for-
probably retire then. Come on, you know my luck with first round picks.
I don't think so. He wants to try to cement his legacy a little more, so he'll still play. I think you should I think I'd say Russell Wilson next year. Take him. Take him because he's due for an injury. He hasn't had one yet.
Unless Dad keeps him again.
Dad keeps him. Mom's really going to be mad at him.
We
again.
kept him this time.
I know.
And he's kicking everybody's butt.
I know. He's kicking everybody's butt with everybody. Dad's destroying the league. It's crazy. Crazy stuff. It took him about 15 years to figure out how to do fantasy football well, but he's finally got it down.
Did
And
he
it's
let
been
Sarah draft for him?
No, he did it. And I will say it's been a while since the Hafemans actually won the league, so Dad might as well do it. Take
Lord
it
knows I finished either 10th, 11th, or 12th for the last 9 years in a row. So I need to pick it up. This is terrible.
Yeah.
I'm the
All right.
founder of this league. I'm the founder. I
Founder.
purposely had 2 teams the first year, remember? And I traded all my
Scoundrel.
good players all to one team so I could win, and I cheated. That was genius by me.
It's the only reason I'll remember the year we started is all those shady moves you pulled.
Yep,
As
and I
commissioner
drafted
that
Vinny
year.
Testaverde, and then he got hurt, and I picked up Kurt Warner and destroyed everybody that year.
1999.
That was the first year. That was the amazing year.
Yep.
I won.
And you paid the penance for it ever since then because you've never won
I
since
cheated.
then.
No, I won the second year too.
You did?
No, maybe I didn't. I won. I came in
I don't
second
think so.
somewhere in there.
Yeah,
Like
somewhere.
2008, maybe.
But you never
Like the
won.
last 12 years, I just been like bottom 3.
That's what you get. Doesn't pay to cheat, man.
I'm actually the worst manager. Like when you look at the manager comparisons, I have the worst rating out of everybody. Probably because I based my whole team around Gardner Minshew. Not the smartest move, but I
Crazy.
can't help it. I like him too much. Oh, we lost another viewer. Round four.
Oh, dang it. Well,
Round
What's
of
the nice
4,
thing
and one
about
of them
doing
is
this
Rick,
at-
and one of them's me.
The nice thing about doing this at the end is people can just turn off, and it's okay.
yeah, they can just go away. It's all right. They don't have to watch us the whole time. Nobody does. Mom might still be hanging in there, mom and dad, but you never know. They probably fell asleep in their
I was gonna
chairs.
say, your dad's sleeping. Come on, you know that.
All right. I got to go to bed or finish this whiskey, one or the other.
I got to
All
work
right.
at 6 in the morning.
Go get to work. Get ready for work. You guys take care of yourselves. Enjoy the Packers not playing on Sunday. And a stress-free Sunday for everybody. And then Monday night, hopefully they beat Atlanta. That's what we're going to go for. Until next week,
Good
Ben
luck
will
to the
have all these
Raiders.
wild plays for
Thanks. They'll need it.
Raiders. Might win. Hopefully they will. Come on. I love parity. Let's go. Bring it back down. More losses for the undefeated teams, except for the Packers, and fewer victories. Spread the victories around. Share NFL. It's all good. All right. We're out of here. Everybody have a good weekend. See ya on Tuesday.